There are certain things that we learn along our journey, our spiritual journey, our journey of evolving and growing and expanding that really alter and shift the trajectory, and that when we look back, we can say, wow, that moment really changed everything. And recently, I had one of those moments. One of those moments that completely flipped my world upside down. And to be perfectly honest, it feels like one of the most challenging opportunities I have experienced in my spiritual involvement thus far. Now, for someone who has been in this realm, who has been channeling, who has been talking to lots of viewpoints over the years, that's saying a lot. It's saying a lot that this is really such a big shift for me. And it's what I'm seeing is, and realizing it's an important shift. It's part of emotional, spiritual maturity. And to really witness this, we have to, we are being given the opportunity to surrender what we think we know in order to really continue to evolve and become. And one of the things that I feel as though I've had to become really good at is entertaining new perspectives, seeing new perspectives, perceiving new perspectives. And this is actually one of the most challenging things that we can do from our ego standpoint, because our ego likes to attach onto things of how things are, why they are. And really, like, this isn't even just the ego, this is the body too. It makes the body feel safe. It makes our nervous system feel safe and grounded. And yet there is, we all know, the only constant is change. And so as I recently had this experience that has made me question everything, I am taking this medicine of what I teach and share with others, and always seeing it in my own life and how it is playing out in my own life, and how I could never expect myself to teach others something that I have not gone through myself, that I have not moved through myself, that I have not overcome, that I have not become. And as we are presented with this in our journey, what I'm realizing and what I really want to talk about today is there is such an importance in knowing that everything that we know is serving that time. And so when I first received this, I didn't receive this, I have been learning. My soul and higher self have guided me to new teachings, new avenues of learning, new things to deepen my spiritual gifts. And in this, I learned something that has made me question everything that I have learned. Now, in my process of questioning everything that I have learned, I started thinking, why didn't I learn this sooner? What about everything that I have learned? Does this invalidate everything I have learned? Does this shift and change everything that I have learned? And that's a really humbling and uncomfortable and intense place to be when you begin to question everything that you think you know. Wondering, have I been off path? Have I been, I've never wondered, have I been off path? I know it's always on path, but have I been misled? Have I been, all of these questions, all of these contemplations, which are very normal when we begin to open to a new perspective in a new way. And through my work, I'm always seeing people's new, oh my gosh, so many perspectives, so many ways, so many ways of healing, ways of transforming, so many perspectives that people have. And this is like such a beautiful gift, especially as an intuitive, and like being able to feel people's perspective and being able to really understand where a person is coming from. But what is so important is that I was sharing is that every piece of wisdom, of knowledge, and perspective that we are having is serving that moment. It's serving that time in our lives. It's serving that iteration of us. And this is something that I am having to remind myself of, is that even though I have a completely different perspective now, which is still evolving and transforming and becoming, even though this is completely new, it doesn't mean that the perspectives in a month ago, a year ago, whatever, they served that time. And this is really important. This is really important because within that, there is most likely still a seed and a nugget that has helped you grow into the next version, and then the next version, and then the next version. And so we could never actually, there's this really pervasive thought form that a lot of people feel, a feeling like we are behind or we have missed out. These are very normal, unfortunately, and it's not you, it's in our collective, because a lot of people are feeling it. And when we feel as though we are missing out, as though we are behind, that makes us feel like what we have done, what we have thought, what our perspectives, that they are wrong, that they are not serving. And here's the thing that we really have to begin to understand is that our soul has us exactly where we're meant to be. If someone else has these things that you think you want, that's their soul's path. That's their soul has desired and created. And yes, we can look at manifestation and creation, and while we can manifest and create and wield and use energy to co-create with source and divine in our soul, there is also an aspect of our soul's divine plan that we just can't mess up, that we can't change and alter in a way that isn't going to be in alignment. So just because someone has what you think you want, it might not be what your soul and higher self truly want. And so it's going to feel uncomfortable when we look out and see people achieving and doing and becoming. And then, this is part of our the challenge of our time with this interconnectedness. But how can we come back to a place where we deeply trust and know that everything has served, that everything is getting us to where we want to go, that our soul's path, our truth, our soul's innate knowing that bypasses trying to figure things out is going to get us there. It's going to lead us to the people, to the resources, to the circumstances and situations that we need in order to become the next version. And so if there's anything that we can learn to truly master in this lifetime, it is to always allow ourselves to see and perceive of a new way, of a new perspective, and not get too attached to any one way of being and any one way of seeing and perceiving things. Because this will only keep us rooted in an old paradigm when our soul is continuing to grow and expand. And this is the journey. This is the journey, and perhaps I'll share the details at some point in a podcast. If you're not subscribed to Divine Alignment, highly recommend. That's where I share the behind the scenes. But as I am still in process, I am also reminded at everything has served. Everything will continue to serve. And part of this dedication to our path, which this is why when we dedicate to our soul path, to our co-creation with our soul and source, we will be asked to do challenging things that require us to let go and shatter our old paradigms. It's hard, and it's a really necessary part of the process. And so if you need deeper support and you are finding yourself in this, reach out to myself or someone else who can see and guide you in an intuitive way that doesn't just think their way through it, but can truly see you and witness you and guide you to your own inner strength and inner truth. And if you are just needing that support to work with your soul in a way that is fun and allows you to work even through blocks and obstacles and creates the paradigm of magic and miracles and synchronicities, then the miracle frequency is waiting for you. All of the information will be below, and wherever you are in your soul path, in your soul's journey, this life journey, this life game that we are all in, it's not easy, but you wouldn't want it to be. You really wouldn't want it to be. And part of our evolution and journey and growth is learning to have fun amidst the chaos, the confusion, and learning to be so dedicated to our own truth and our own path that everything else we know and deeply trust is continuing to lead us and guide us there. And so with that, I'm just sending you all infinite love and light.